Hey, everybody, and welcome to the very first panel of EarpCurseCon Holiday Edition. Jingle bells, jingle bells. I am thrilled to be here with my delightful co-host and moderator, Teresa. Teresa, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. How could I be anything else?
And we're thrilled that our ASL interpreter, Natalie, is here. But most of all, I think we can all admit that the people we're most excited to see are, of course, themselves, Dom PC.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
And the inimitable Kat Burrell.
Hello.
How are you both? It's so wonderful to see you.
Doing good. Happy to be here.
Yeah. How's life been treating everyone? I understand Kat Bernie is there guarding the door there.
He is guarding my door. I've closed the windows. Dom, I'm at like a co-working space. So it's like a WeWork. So I took this off the wall of the hallway and put it back here. So I'm sure the security cameras are like, what is she doing? But yeah, Bernie has decided it's his job to guard the door because I've shut the blinds because I took that away from him earlier today. So
I see. Yeah. That is amazing. You just nicked the painting just for this.
Yeah. Oh no, it's like from the hall, but I just walked it down.
And just borrowing it.
Yeah.
Well,
it was too much white.
Yeah.
And Kat understands the importance of set dressing, right? We have to set the scene.
Exactly.
Right,
Yes.
You just splash of color. Yeah. So thank you. He is taking himself very seriously right now.
Awesome.
All right. You ready to get started?
Yes.
First question is going to be for the both of you. 2022 saw you both finally able to reunite at conventions for the first time in a very long while. How did it feel to be reunited both with each other, the rest of your coworkers, and a whole lot of Earpers?
Yeah. Do you want to go first, Kat, or would you like me to
you go first. You go first.
Well, I'll start by saying that these last few years, I've really been sort of like cocooning. So it felt like a really big thing to come back out and reintegrate into the Earp community. So personally, I was feeling a little bit nervous. I think one of the things that I am healing in this lifetime is the sort of fear of not being accepted and loved, and so therefore was definitely hiding behind a mask and doing the things that I thought I needed to be in order to receive that validation. And so coming out after 3 years, there were a lot of layers and a lot of things going on, and so it was fantastic. And of course, I didn't have anything to be worried about, because if there's one community that's going to accept all the various different parts of myself, it's going to be the Earp community. And reuniting with my Earp family was such a joy. I think the one thing that I would say, I don't know how you felt, Kat, but because there was so much going on, I would have loved to have had just you and me time first. That wasn't actually the first time that we were reuniting, because I felt like I just wanted to sit down and actually have that moment, which we did then end up having afterwards. And that really felt like the moment where we were able to like properly connect and catch up and be able to share the things that had been going on in my life and the things that had been going on in your life, which was a joy. And then going into ACON, it was a whole different thing, because we had that moment.
Had that. Yeah. Well said. Beautiful.
Yeah.
What a journey. How beautiful. How beautiful. It's so symbolic. And like COVID, I think, popped a lot of people out on the other side being like, whoa, what to whatever degree. And I think like I experienced that in my own life as well, with like being a mom, and I'm still figuring that out for myself too. Like I'm still struggling with battling the old version of me and the new version of me, and like who am I now, and taking all that into account. And so that's my small way of relating to that feeling of transformation as well. And I think we had gone through so much separated, which was unusual, because we had spent so much time traveling and connecting and working together. And then there was like, for all of us, Dom and I, but the whole cast, we had been so unusually separated. So yeah, it just felt so nice to get back. What a reminder of like how important I think connecting in the flesh is. Like, I think there's a part of COVID where I thought, oh, you know, it'll be fine. We'll all talk online and stuff. But there is something about getting together in person. There's an energetic thing I think that happens that just I really missed. And I didn't realize it until we were there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then getting to come and then having that second time in Toronto and actually coming to your house and meeting Rona
Yeah,
and
I'm
being
meeting
like
Ronan.
seeing Kat as a mom and being like,
Weird.
wow, we're in such a different part of our journey now. And yeah, like you so well said, just COVID really was such an interesting time for a lot of us. And to be able to reconnect after that time just felt so special. Yeah. Coming back together.
Yeah. And parenthood, Kat, what a trip, eh?
What a trip, man. Holy man. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
It's like I'm so cognizant because I'm like, I don't want to just talk about it, but it is such a big transformation. I wasn't expecting how big of a like, whoa, world shift it is, you know? Yeah, but fun, like so fun.
Oh, it's so fun. Yeah, that's the thing. I was watching this program the other day. I can't remember the name of it, but there was a gentleman on it who's a family therapist. And he said, you know what? Parenting isn't that hard. What it is exhausting. You know, that's the thing. You just get exhausted. And then so it's learning how to manage that and still,
and finding time for yourself, which is hard.
Oh,
like I struggle to sometimes, like I have a friend of mine who's doing this self-awareness workshop, like, you know, where you go in and you do a workshop of like a self-development course. And I'm like, there's a part of me that's like envious because I'm like, fuck, I just don't have the bandwidth to do that right now.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes I was the other day looking at, told you, Bernie.
And the art really fell down.
Bernie, she's allowed to be here. It's okay.
Pause for Bernie the guard dog.
Sorry, I knew it.
I don't think anybody
like,
minds.
As soon as it's okay. Bernie.
Hi, Bernie.
Hi, Bernie.
Hey, Bubba.
Yeah, and then this guy. But yes, I think one of the things that I think it's important to talk about with parenthood is you are thrust into a completely different version of yourself, but you have so little time to check in with that person. And I was looking at some pictures of me when I was pregnant the other day, and I started to cry. And Ray was like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "I just miss her sometimes." You know, like I think that's important to. It's not that I don't love this version of me. I do, but like there's a mourning of a past you. It's because it's a huge shift. And I was like, and I'm also just so much more emotional and all these things that are so beautiful, but it comes with and you don't have as much time to be like, I'm going to take the time to reinvest. It's not available to me right now. So, so it's been a trip. It's been a journey, huge journey, but awesome.
As someone who's 3 years in, let me assure you that you will start to cycle back to that before, and you'll be like a combo cat. You'll be a combo. Yeah,
I'm all for a combo. I love a combo. Give me some fries. I like a salad also. Yeah.
But so I do have a question actually for you, Kat, separate from parenthood.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
So you've been doing a lot of on-camera work lately, which is super exciting for us fans. Like, oh my God, Kat's on TV again. But I know that you're also someone who really puts a lot of thought and care into your projects, and that you also have a desire to go behind the camera as well. And I'm just wondering, do you, given that you're not quite combo cat yet, and you're still kind of figuring out, you know, how you're managing your time with work and parenthood and all that stuff, do we have producer cat, director cat on the, you know, in the future, or?
Yeah, it's been a big. I'm so sorry. Bernie, stop it. I'm so sorry.
And he's really taking the limelight.
Yeah, really.
Lord.
It's the Bernie show.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry that this poor lady was like not happy about that. Bernie, stop. Yes. So I was supposed to direct something in January that I've been prepping for 2 months. And this is the thing with indies, man. And that's why people are always like, what are you working on? I'm like, so many things, and then they die. But unfortunately, we had like the last section of our funding fell through. So it was this really cool project that I was super stoked about. However, I was talking to Dom about this. I feel like it's just making way for something new, and I need to surrender to that. And I have a couple of things. I've tried to transfer my focus to, the other thing is directing is a massively, like when we're shooting, you're on set when you're shooting, but directing, you're going into prep and you're shooting and you're posting. So I'm also trying to be gentle with myself to be like, there's time, but you have like limited time in the section of life you're in right now. And I'm really, because I'm such a like go-getter. I hate waiting for the phone to ring. I like to make things happen. So I'm really growing in the fact of like,
It's okay. It's okay.
you've got to stop. You've got to stop. Okay, I'm gonna put your face.
This is actually kind of hilarious. I love
I'm
it.
so sorry. Bernie, please stop it. Please stop.
I think
I'm
Bernie's
like,
just
now
used to
you're gonna
being on
all
camera.
judge my horrible training.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Non-existent.
My dog Colin
gosh.
does the same exact thing. You're
Oh my
cool.
gosh, it's the Aussie, right? Anyways, I'm sorry to get us off track, but yeah. So I'm focusing, actually something really cool that I started doing is I'm working with a lot of the writer friends that I have and kind of using my connection to the networks to bring their work. So I've got like, I think 6 projects that I'm working with different writers to bring over to, I think CBC is one that we're targeting. Hallmark is one that we're targeting. I have like a couple of queer Christmas movies that I'm trying to push. So like, I'm trying. I'm just like, okay, if the directing thing's not happening right now, then I can, I have these connections. How else can I be the bridge for other creatives? So that's like something I'm also focusing on. And I've talked to a buddy of mine who directed The Scare House. His name's Gavin, and he has a movie that I've been really interested in for a long time. And I think we might try to do it in the next year. So that would be really exciting.
Cool.
So like so many things, but accepting the ones that don't work out and moving forward. But yeah. Sorry, my long-winded, my stupid talk.
No, it's great.
Not
That was
stupid.
great.
You're a good boy, but you bark too much.
All right. So back to me. Going back to your time with Winona Earp and how the majority of us fell in love with the both of you. Is there something you would have liked your characters to explore in the series, or something you hope they will be able to in the future should we get more content? Something you always imagined for them that we actually did not see?
Great question. Well, for me, I would say I'm just going to go moving forward, because let's call that in so that we can go back and explore the characters again. I think that I really loved exploring the like dark Waverly stuff. But I think that like moving forward, it would be really cool to kind of like see Waverly embodying certain aspects of dark Waverly now that she like went there, but like bringing that into and like grounding her into sort of like the next chapter of her life. Like, I really like that kind of like focused, really clear-minded, like badassery that dark Waverly had. And I think that like, yeah, sort of as they embark on the next chapter of their life, and like there's that security of marriage and home, like just really seeing Waverly continue to step more and more into her power, and just embodying those parts of herself and continuing to sort of find her place within the team, and within, I mean, obviously it's a new chapter, but like really stepping into that strength, I think, more and more. Yeah.
Combo Waverly. I dig it.
Yeah.
Kat, how about you?
I would like to see, I mean, I've always said I really would like to see moving forward Nicole and Waverly as parents. I think would be a really cool version of them to get to explore. I also really I'd like to see Nicole more in the sheriff role, because it's sort of new and we didn't really get to see a lot of it in season 4. So it would be really cool to see her explore that and get to see like on the job sheriff Nicole. I think would be really fun. Yeah, I'm really
A
curious.
ride along.
Yeah, like a ride along. Yeah, I
Oh my
think that-
gosh, that would be such a great episode. Anyway,
So
go ahead.
Cop
So
style.
I just think
Exactly,
something.
exactly.
There's got to be something there. So I think like that the home life balance and the balance of seeing Nicole with her in her new position and kind of rocking it and running the department, I think would be pretty empowering and pretty cool to see.
Absolutely. I think
Oh, yeah.
Waverly can be like her sidekick and like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Step into that role.
Amazing. That would
Oh,
be
yeah.
so fun. Do you
With the
think they would
flamethrower.
work well together, or do you think they would get on each other's nerves?
Do you?
I don't know. I mean, once you, I want to say yes, but it would be kind of fun to see, like, I mean, we had a little bit of the conflict of the two of them, you know, the blurry line between Black Badge and everyday citizen work and what that looks like. It would be cool to see them back. I miss the days of being in the same office building. Like, it would be
and I'm
kinda
like
cool to
thinking
see.
about that scene in the last episode or the one before last when they were like,
That's exactly what I was thinking. I thought it would be so seamless, like Mulder and Scully just putting the pieces together rapid style. I think that would be totally your vibe. And then calling Jeremy and being like, hey, go get this guy. We found it. And like,
yes, exactly. I think
going
they'd
on our
actually
date
work
now.
really well together. The only thing that might be a little bit distracting is just like, you know,
each other.
Yeah.
Loving each other. Yeah.
There'd be a lot of celebrations.
Yeah, exactly.
Post-solution celebrations.
Right?
Yeah.
So Dom, a few years ago, you were kind enough to grace us with a visit to my show and Teresa's show as well. She's also on the show now, the Earp Fiction Addiction podcast.
Yes.
And we had such a lovely conversation. We had so much fun. We actually had a hard time stopping. Which was,
sounds about right.
Yes. Cherished memory for me. But on that episode, you famously coined the phrase F labels. In fact, it was so popular it became a t-shirt, and we actually sent you a shirt, and but now that you've come into your identity as a fellow queer non-binary person, has embracing those labels, whether in the long or short term, has that given you a feeling of kind of self-empowerment because you're naming yourself?
Oh, I love this question so much. Thank you so much for bringing that up. I've actually been thinking about it a lot recently. Just the concept of labels. And I think that for me personally, for a period of time, it was really helpful to really own labels. I think labels are actually a way to communicate to others our experience, and there's definitely a place for them. But I think that when I was on your podcast, I think it was almost like my higher self speaking that was going, why can't we live in a world where we don't have to define ourselves by labels that constrict us and confine us to these boxes? Because experience and life is so much more complex than that and so much more nuanced. And really, I think my higher self loves to live in the grays and in the in-between, and the rainbow kind of, it doesn't matter, and we don't need to label ourselves in order to define our experience. But then, definitely at the start of when I kind of expanded my awareness of myself, I suppose, and found the term non-binary and started really understanding how helpful that was for me, I definitely embraced it and still do. But it's interesting now, I feel like the longer that I'm sort of settling into this period of my life and settling into this, beyond the binary space, it's almost like the less that label matters, and actually I just am becoming more me, and that's what it feels like. It's not so much about like being non-binary, it's like I'm becoming more me. And actually a huge sort of breakthrough moment for me was realizing that the way that people sort of speak to you, whether with pronouns or, whatever terms they use, actually says more about them and the way that they see the world and the lens that they see through, and less about me and my experience. And that was a huge thing to go, oh, actually, okay, these labels that we use, yes, of course, I'm going to surround myself with people that choose to use the terms that feel the best for me, because I think really that is an act of love, and that of course I'm going to surround myself with folks that, you know, choose to embrace the labels that feel the best for me. But actually I'm less triggered now when people do misgender me on stuff, because I'm like, it says more about the way that they see the world than it does about me. And I think that comes in sort of like the settling and the knowing of self that develops over time once we have found those labels that have helped us define our own experience. Does that resonate?
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
100,000% yes.
Yeah, but thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I know from some of the fan questions that we have seen peppered through that a lot of people are emboldened and comforted by your journey and how it has in turn triggered their own. Certainly your relationship on the show did that for me. And learning that I was bisexual, because without the two of you, that wouldn't have happened for me. So
Wow.
I just know there are multiple levels of that going on in the fandom. So thank you again for just being you both.
Thank you
And
so much.
speaking of fan questions, Jen and I both really want to make sure we get a couple of these in to honor the fandom. So the first question is from @EarpADerp. What do you both miss most about working specifically with each other?
Oh, yeah.
That's really beautiful.
Yeah.
I miss the fact that we got to work so closely together for so long, put us on a deeper level of connection where we had this like shorthand, and we got to have a lot of really deep soul expanding conversations
Yes.
that you don't get to have with people you only work with for 3 weeks or whatever. I miss that being around you, Dom, as someone in my life who I had been through so much, who had witnessed so much in my life, and I had witnessed in yours and been a part of that. There's just a special bond and I wish I had another word for shorthand, but not exactly, but I think you guys know what I mean. A comfort, a ability to dive like really deep, really quick,
Yes.
without having to like plow through the sort of surface level niceties that you do in everyday life. I miss that.
Well
Yeah.
said. We've spoken about this before, but there's something so unique about what Kat and I experienced, and what everybody here has experienced, the fandom, you know, all of the cast really, but there's no one that will understand what I have, the closest person to understanding what I have been through within this experience is you, Kat, and same vice versa, that we have this, like, we had no idea that playing this couple was going to change our lives in the way that it did on so many levels.
So many levels. Yeah.
So many levels. And there's something that's so comforting about that, and an ability for me to see you, and I think an ability for you to see me, because we've been through that. And so, yeah, I completely echo what you're saying. I think it's just, there's such a familiarity about working together, and just an ease in sinking into Way Hot. Like, I don't know what it was about our connection and about our experience of playing those roles, but I like always felt like the minute that we jumped into a scene, we were able to just kind of like embody those characters in a way that just felt so natural. And it was such a joy to play in that world with you, you know, and I miss that. I just miss the ease.
Yeah, well said. I miss it too. I just feel like I agree with you. There was something about Nicole and Waverly. Yeah, well said, that we just, the second we were there, they were there.
Yeah.
they were just there. There was like a magic about it that you don't get to experience all the time with characters you play or colleagues that you work with. And yeah, well said. I miss that too.
It's like you developed a common language,
Right.
your own lexicon.
I wonder how it would be to jump back in though, like 3 years later,
I know.
2 years later, like,
Yeah.
would it still be there with that? Once we put on their clothes and stepped into their house, would they be there still? I like to think that they would.
I think they would be for
Yeah.
sure. For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay, our final fan question, selected with loving care by Teresa and myself, is from Peppica, or at pepper peppering.
Excellent.
What's the daftest / most enjoyable photo op you have done with Earpers at a con?
Oof. Goodness me. I just had a flash of all the murder trees coming in. But that's good. Sorry. You go, Kat.
Oh, I was thinking, I don't know if it's the daftest, but I remember somebody getting engaged during a photo op. That was pretty special. Yeah, that was really special. And then like there's like ridiculous, hilarious like body shots and the murder trees and but the ones that stand out in my mind because I'm such a softie are like the big life moments that you get to witness. Like we've seen like a few people get engaged and married, like people have
And baby
kids,
announcements.
baby announcements. Yes. Like
I also
yeah.
particularly loved seeing Kevin dressed as Brittany, personally. I have to say that was definitely a daft highlight for me.
Yeah.
And Mitch as Waverly. That was pretty damn daft and awesome. But yeah, there's been like so many amazing costumes, so many, like you say, so many special moments too that come through, and like it just goes so quickly, and so you're just like,
and you're like,
there's like people dressing up, and it's just such
and you do go home and you're like, did that really happen? I think that's the other thing we share. It's like we were there. It's like you were there, right, Dom? You saw what I saw. Okay, great. Like this is real. It's actually happening, And then you go
like
home to your regular life and like go to the grocery store, and it's just strange, yeah. Yeah,
if not for the photographic evidence, no one would ever believe you.
Right? Sometimes.
Precisely. Yeah.
Oh goodness. Well, this has just been so wonderful catching up with you both. It is so lovely to see you both and to hear from you. And thank you both so much for giving your time this weekend.
Thanks, Jessa.
Yeah, to meet with Earpers again. You're so generous with your time in doing that for us, and it's just, we're so blessed to have you in our lives. And again, I'm just gushing now. Teresa, help me.
I would be remiss if we didn't say thank you to our interpreter Natalie.
Yes,
thank
you,
Natalie, for being on tech.
Thank you.
I know everyone's already had a ton of fun just from this alone, because I did, and but I know that there's a lot more to come this weekend, so everybody enjoy.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Jessa.
Jen.
And
Thanks,
you,
Jen.
Happy Earpa holidays.
Yeah,
happy
Earpa
holidays.
And lovely to see you, Kat, as always.
Great to see you, my love. Great to see you.
All right, bye everyone who's tuning in at home. Bye, have a good weekend.